Hello and welcome to a ZenWood video that is also Costello Port, because this is sort of a how to creatively use office space. It just happens to be ZenWood Studio, which is my official studio where I do art pieces that involve things like, rocks and sand and red reindeer moss. There are lots of cool implements and tools. It's a great place to keep things where my apartment doubles as a home office. I have what I've been working on called the Super Office, and there's some videos on that on the Costello Port playlist. This is a great place to do dirty stuff like wood and sand and rocks and moss and all these landscape inspired materials. My art is landscape inspired, meaning that another one of my businesses that I've done in the past was to set up an eco-friendly landscaping business. So I have a lot of tools left over, experience, and it's a long story, but I injured myself severely. I tore my abdomen. It took 1.5 years to heal. It wasn't bad enough for surgery, and I could not do labor. So I had to have employees do labor for me, and eventually I ended up closing the business because it just became overwhelming. So I learned a great lesson. I should have had a plan in place where I didn't have to do the work, and I had a better infrastructure where I had employees trained up, where it wasn't that I left the scene. It's a long story, but they had an issue because I was working with them and then I left. They were young, I didn't groom them properly. Little things you learn in life. So with that, I would say that I just have sort of collected a good amount of things, and the pack rat that I am, I don't want to get rid of them. As you can see the noise in the background, I actually want to get it out, but I have some tools left over. Eventually I would like to get a place to garden, and then ZenWood could kind of take its new form, or its expanded form. Right now it's just art. It's just landscape inspired art, and it's just prototypes. Nothing is for sale yet. I'm building the website. This is the business that is the lowest on the totem pole of my priority, but is one of the most fun. And if I just kept it as a hobby that made a little bit of money, I'd still be happy, because it gives me a break. It's like creativity. It's a man cave. It's a place where I can do all the things that I loved about landscaping and art that I can't really do in my apartment because it's so darn messy. Anyways, instead of getting a $2,000 to $5,000 per month traditional commercial real estate space, as I'm just building this and it's not doing anything. So one of my theories about business development, I've done this quite a bit with several, I try to not spend more money than I need to initially. Do as much as you can do yourself, do as much prep work as you can do, make sure everything is registered, organized, you've got your tax situation figured out. You want to make sure you really have a grip on that before you get going, because trust me, you will be very shocked and surprised, and it'll distract you from focusing on your work and building whatever businesses that you have. I would just recommend that. That's my personal, and of course I suffered from it, and that's usually how we learn. And then we can make YouTube videos and share it with others so that they don't have to make all of the same mistakes. I also have things in here, say I'm working, this is work for me. And I'll get kind of done with it, right? I just need a break. So I said, well, I don't want to leave the space. That's a lot of work. I don't want to leave here. I want to usually try to stay here for 1 to 2 hours at a time. That's usually sufficient. And I don't want to be going and coming a lot. So I have things like this fit board, and my head's gonna get cut off, but the idea is that you stand on here and you twist, twist, and let's play some basketball. I also have just my normal fitness stuff as I do these videos called Atlantean Oak Adventures. That is also on my YouTube channel. There's a playlist dedicated to it. It's mostly nature stuff. I like to go out in nature, and I like to do a lot of still videos where you just hear the sounds of nature and you see the sights. Can't smell yet, We don't have technology that allows you to smell in there. But, you know, I also like to just kind of stay fit and take breaks and stay active. Also going into a thing called Fusion Fitness, I am a certified yoga instructor, and eventually I will finish the personal trainer certification. That way it's just a little bit more legitimate. For the time being, what I'll do is I'll just make videos that I call playlist Fusion Fitness on the YouTube. You know, and I'll just show creative ways of exercising. One of them is right here, which technically taking a break and exercising in your storage unit. Or your office, or your home, whatever it is. Practical things, knee pads, some nice cozy gloves. These are great. Eyeglasses. When you're messing with sand, I've also got those great face masks that we remember from COVID to keep dust out of my nose. I like using them for more practical purposes. Not saying that you shouldn't or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Not giving any kind of medical advice, just sharing my various preferences. You gotta be so careful about everything you say now, right? Look at that, I'm feeling a little bit chilly. It's climate controlled in here, but you know, they don't crank the heat or anything. They're not trying to spend $20 million a month on heat. It's a business, eh? But they do keep it climate controlled. It has good security. It's very clean. It's called Extra Space Storage. I'll put a link in there in the YouTube video description. And voila. Of course, stay hydrated. Can't have food in here, but I can have some water. So you lose some amenities, but it has electricity, there's a bathroom. For the price, I think this is a pretty wise move to do something where you're not really gonna go right into business churning $10,000 a month, you know? Use your head. You might have that kind of business, but that's not usually how businesses start out. Oh, I'm feeling musical. This is an old Irish drum. It's something that my father picked up in 2005 when I went with him to Ireland. The way they play is like this. I'm not a professional at that. I have no idea what I'm doing. It's in good shape. The point is you just have some things around to have a little bit of fun, stretch, move around, get some exercise, whatever. All right, well, there's one more thing I want to share with you, which is on that exercise note. In the realm of creativity, this is an indispensable tool for fitness and for relaxation, for comfort, for an ergonomic sitting experience. All right, well, I hope you got something out of it. I hope that you were inspired to be creative and to, if you want to form a business at some point or you want to just do a hobby business, I would highly recommend spending as little money as possible and doing as much work on the back end as possible. Prep it as thoroughly as you can get away with. And then when you're ready to go into it, you're going to be in a better place. This is what I suggest. Anyways, without further ado, namaste.